What is up, boys and girls? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Mark, the chosen one. I'm over here at PBR, Patrick Blake, where the Supra is. It's been a few weeks since I've had a Supra update, but believe me, there has been a lot that's going on. Let's get right into it and let me show you guys exactly where we're at with it. Boom, let's go. So the motor's the motor is fully in. Obviously, it's fully assembled. It is coming together really nicely. The turbo actually was on there, but he had to take it off to do some plumbing with the, I think, the water pump and stuff like that. It's just chilling right there. There's a lot of updates that have happened. Changed the cams to these cams. He likes the sprockets a little bit more. Plus, it's nice and gold. And basically, the motor's not coming out again, so it's fully in. I know we talked about changing the mounts last time, guys. Those of you that were watching the video, but so those are the original mounts that were made for the car. But what we're gonna do is we bought these mounts, and I'll show you when we lift up the car. But it's kind of gonna slide in that little pocket there. It has like these like urethane style like bushings that are they're not solid, but they're not super soft, but it's gonna absorb a lot, and they're gonna do something custom there. But yeah, it looks super sick, and it's coming together really nicely. I think, where's my water neck? I think I brought the water neck here somewhere. There's the water neck there. Just gonna add it, but yeah, I mean, it's coming together really nice. We're basically almost at the point where it's time for wiring now. So like, I gotta call Mario back in here just so he can start doing the measurements and starting the wiring harness for the engine. But the engine's not coming out anymore, and I'll lift up the car and I'll show you guys it underneath. But just a small little talk, a little geeking out here over the interior. But I don't know if I showed you guys these HKS 50th anniversary belts that are going in there. I also have the wheel. I don't know if I put it in here. There we go. I got the HKS 50th anniversary wheel too, so that's gonna look super nice. Gonna change it with the horn button here. Super sick. So that's that. Let's see if, damn, this shit is so fucking sick. Let's see if we can lift up the car so I can show you guys the underneath. By the way, before I even bring the car up, this setup is for sale. This is the Driveshaft shop axles. It's like the 2,000 horsepower axles or whatever for the A90. This is the Frankenstein E92 diff. I think it's 363 rear gears, but this is a lot stronger than a factory A90 diff. And those of you guys that want to drop the clutch or spin around or whatever, this is in really good condition with those axles. All you would probably need is to make your own custom drive shaft to fit with whatever trans you're running, if it's a stock trans or whatever. But this whole setup is for sale. It will be for sale. Make me an offer, okay? I think the axles were like 2,000 bucks or something. We put this whole diff together, making it together for like 500 bucks or whatever. It is used. Just make me an offer. It's available. I obviously don't need it anymore just because of this, but those of you that do want upgraded axles, want a stronger diff than stock, want a little bit shorter gears, or this actually might be longer gears. I don't know. I think they're 363, so you guys can do your own measurements on there, but it is available, so hit me up. Guys, this is the underneath of the car. Obviously, you could see the custom oil pan for 10,000 horsepower. No, but seriously, here's the real fun. This is the trans. This is the Bowler Carbon Series trans, and it has it's basically, they make trans for like Granis Racing, I think, or they used to. And then this is the Granis Racing bell housing with a McLeod RXT 1200T. RXT 1200T. It's basically in Pat's fucking 10,000 horsepower fucking car over there.
That's Genshi's car.
Oh, that's Genshi's car. I thought, it kind of looks, I thought, didn't you have like a crazy shop car? But that was it. That's it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, whatever, but still sick. But long story short, guys, this is gonna, one of the failure points for building my car before was, can the tranny hold? This tranny can fucking hold whatever we're gonna throw at it. So that's that. We had to make a custom tranny mount here. Look at that sick polyurethane bushing here. I think Pat, you said you guys took a stock A91 and then you had some super thick aluminum and you kind of just made it work, basically, yeah?
Yeah, so this was a brand new crossmember that we got from Toyota. And then problem was this right here, how this is, way up high and this is down here. So,
sure.
Yeah, so instead of
fabbing something, you could just use the
yeah, we decided to just use this, cut out the middle, and then just move it back a little bit because the T56 mount fits back a little bit further than the
I like this urethane bushing. So it's gonna help me out a little bit.
Yeah, it's gonna be stiff enough to keep it nice and aggressive, but also soften it up enough to streetable.
The problem I had with the whole other setup was that the trans tunnel, or at least I had a lot of problems. Okay, for overheating, the engine was getting super hot, but the trans tunnel was getting really fucking hot, where the shifter was fucking hot.
Yeah.
But maybe because the motor was hot. Because I was basically overheating. Yeah. So if the motor's not hot, maybe that won't be a problem anymore, but.
Yeah, you can actually see too, I could fit my entire arm up and over the transmission. There's a lot of room here, it's not just tucked up right against the tunnel, like kissing the tunnel like the 8HP was. This actually has like a lot of room around it. So. Well,
no, I never had the 8HP. I had the I did when the car, but I had that E46 M3 6-speed get rag in here.
Oh, okay.
It was just getting super hot. I hope it doesn't get that hot.
Yeah.
Wait, this is it right here. So this is the shifter. Oh, I get it. Okay, yeah. So, all right. Maybe I could put some heat shield cushioning or whatever the fuck down here. I'm not sure.
Once we get the shifter to actually pass through, we're gonna make a little plate with like a rubber bushing that go on top to completely insulate it from the.
Okay.
To completely insulate the tunnel.
All right, and then here is where all the party's definitely in the back, and there's a lot of work and hours that went behind this. But basically, this is a Ford 8.8 rear end with, I don't know what kind of spline axles, but they're super heavy duty. They're a lot thicker than those axles that I had. So
yeah, they're G-force billet axles. They're nice.
There you go, billet G-force axles, 8.8 Ford rear end. This is like the whole setup, and it's already on the car. There was a lot of work to get this in.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
I mean, we dropped the entire rear subframe out of the car. Getting the bushings out was kind of tricky. We had to fabricate like a couple of tools to get the bushings out.
The bushings from the.
So this is a new bushing, and then these two in the front as well. There's a solid bushing there, and there's a solid bushing up there.
Got it. Seems legit.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Getting those old bushings out was a little tricky.
And I like how you guys painted this gold.
Had to get it to match. I don't even know if you can see it, but
I think you'll be able to see it if you bend down.
It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty when it came out of the box. It looked like it. I guess what matters is what's inside, but
of course,
it definitely wasn't painted. It was just a raw case, so we figured we'd just throw some gold on it
and it's sick because you were telling me that the kit actually comes with the drive shaft. You just have to measure from point A to point B, and then they're gonna send you like a nice aluminum shaft, so which is kind of nice.
Yeah, we just need to take the measurement from there to there. It'll have like a billet end and T56 spline in the front, and it's a 3.5 aluminum one piece, so it'll handle everything we're gonna throw at it for sure.
Sick. Now the next step is the fuel system, which we don't have to talk about how it was. There's good news, there's bad news. Good news is the surge tank up there that I had before is usable and it's pretty good. The bad news, and I wouldn't call this bad news, but things like this definitely are going to be redone, just plumbed a little bit differently, just so it makes a little bit more sense, which is fine.
Yeah, so we're gonna make a bulkhead pass through, a little plate with like 4 bulkheads. So it'll be 4 individual hoses at the bottom and then 4 individual hoses at the top, so they don't, like, the hose physically doesn't pass through the car anymore.
Yeah.
Makes it a little bit more serviceable. It's just nicer, so like things aren't rubbing like
Sure.
holes and stuff.
Sure.
We're gonna crimp all new XRP hoses, so everything is
Perfect.
nice and tidy and stuff. But the idea of pulling fuel from the tank into the surge tank and having the surge tank be like the main source of fuel, that's a really good idea. We're just gonna keep that and just kind of.
Sure. Guys, look how clean underneath the car looks. This car has like fucking 800 miles on the fucking chassis. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, I just want to preface something for those of you that are looking to do a 2J swap in an A90. Do it right the first time, because I calculated something somewhere around 50 to 55,000 additional dollars that I did not have to spend if I just did it right and spent a little bit more the first time. And what I mean by that is I should have done the main caps. In the very beginning of the build, I should have done main caps, because that would have avoided me building the motor again. Now, I'm glad I did build the motor again. I almost had to, because the components in the original build of the motor not only did not suffice for this type of power, but things were just not making too much sense. And again, that's my fault, because I went through so many different stages of rush, spending money. I didn't want to spend too much on it, but now this is like $200,000 build. I'm gonna be honest, this whole fucking build is around there, including the cost of the car. Long story short, do it right the first time. Pat knows almost everything now about this chassis and this motor and this setup, so I'm pretty sure the next one, if you guys ever want to be done, I'm sure it'll be, he'll know exactly kind of how to quote it.
Yeah,
but
we would do it again.
but only if it's a 2J. Don't bring your fucking B58 here.
Yeah, no B58's allowed.
But 2J only. But things are starting to look good, and they're starting to come together, and I'm very, very excited. The next step is probably Mario to come here and just do the wiring. But until then,
yeah. Well, we're gonna build the fuel system in the meantime. Probably get the front back together, put the intercooler in. We do want to put AC in it, so we're gonna try to figure out how we're gonna fit AC in this thing, or the easiest way possible. If we're gonna use like a vintage air, or if we're gonna try to incorporate the factory 2J compressor somehow.
okay.
So that'll be kind of a mission, but getting the Motec in it, getting the wiring sorted, figure out where the harness is going to come through. The clutch master cylinder, that's going to be a thing.
Okay.
We got some work, but I mean, at least we've got a car now.
What's this? Is this what's all
The
that?
timing marks on the front cover.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's a new front cover, so they look all nice and white.
It looks great. The motor looks fucking sick. It looks new, and
It's a good motor. I mean, it'll handle. The components in the motor are stronger than the factory cast iron block itself, so you'll crack the block itself before a component in that motor fails.
And I was talking to Pat about like, okay, what are the limiting factors I have, because the rear end was a question. I was always personally scared. I was like, okay, what's gonna break when I'm driving the car? I know we Frankenstein a bunch of shit just to kind of make it work, and we wanted to be the first ones to do a bunch of shit, and now that whole ship has sailed. But now there are no failing points in the build to a degree of me being afraid to do whatever I want in it. The only limiting factor, what Pat also thinks, and I actually think too, is going to actually be the turbo. The motor is capable of handling a lot more power. The turbo is probably going to limit us to whatever the power the car is actually going to make, which is probably around 1200. But even we were talking 1200 in this chassis manual is going to be fun. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Yeah. So I was a horsepower chasing queen a couple years ago, because nobody had more than 1200 wheel on this chassis before. So I was like, I want 1300. I want to break the world record for this chassis. But now there's so many people doing a bunch of shit, and so I don't really care about breaking any records. I just kind of want to build whatever I want to build. So we're just going to go with that turbo, and hopefully, 1200 is going to be just fine.
Yeah,
so I'm not.
Into Sportsman 7675. I mean, it should make 1200.
Yeah.
And it's usable power too.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
The only limiting factor that I can kind of see is probably my tire setup, if I'm even going to hook at all. But we'll see if Motec helps with that. And
yeah, it's an R888, so it should do.
It's 285s though only.
Yeah, I mean, the Motec Motec's gonna have to work overtime, but I think it'll do it.
All right.
Yeah. We had luck on a similar tire setup with a similar
Power setup.
power setup. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so
That's when we get there.
yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys, for this. Like I said, this is up for grabs. Whoever wants to grab it. The next, I think now, because I know last time I was here, I said, okay, every week there's going to be something for me to show you guys update wise or whatever. But now I would imagine like I personally think the hard part's done. There's a lot of work still left to be done, but I personally think like the big, oh shit, wow, motor's in, trans is in, diff is in, rear end is in. I feel like that's like the big fucking things. Everything else is like little stuff, still time consuming, but super little stuff. So I'm just excited to give more updates and hopefully finish this car just in time for the fucking winter, dude. But yeah, yeah, I'm super stoked. Hopefully you are too, bro. You guys see the Motec over there, so I'm very excited to put this thing on a different management system and see what happens there. But I'll definitely keep you guys posted. And if you want to know more and follow more and blow me more, then the best thing to do is hit that subscribe button for your boy. Gonna appreciate that. Let me know what you guys think about this build and how it's coming along in version 3 or version 4, whatever fuck version this is. Let me know what you guys actually think in the comments, because I read them, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.